You're thinking about working in Canada. It's an amazing goal, but let's be real. The official information can feel like trying to climb a mountain. Today, we're going to break it all down and give you a clear, simple map for that journey.
Yeah, it's a huge step, but the path forward often seems buried under a pile of complicated forms and really confusing terms. Our whole job today is to cut through all that noise and just show you the actual steps.
Look, we're not going to get bogged down in every single little form. Instead, we're giving you the high-level roadmap. By the end of this, you're going to have a really solid framework to start your own, much more focused research.
All right, let's dive right in. The entire process, literally everything, hinges on one fundamental question you have to answer for yourself right at the very beginning. And here it is. Is your goal to work here temporarily, for a little while, or are you looking to immigrate and build a life here permanently? This decision is absolutely critical, because the application paths for these two goals, they're completely different.
Okay, so for the rest of this explainer, we're going to focus on that temporary work route. Now that we've narrowed it down, let's explore how you actually get that work permit. You know, this is a really important shift in how you think about this. Instead of one single generic work permit, it's way better to picture it as a bunch of different doors. Each door is designed for a different kind of person, with a different background. The real key is finding the door that was made just for you. And this table here starts to make sense of all those doors. The categories are built around your life's circumstances. For example, you've got International Experience Canada, or IEC, which is for young people from certain countries who want a working holiday. Then there's the Post-Graduation Work Permit, the PGWP. That's a very specific path for people who just graduated from a Canadian school. There are even streams for family members or people with in-demand skills like caregivers. Just take a second and see which of these descriptions sounds the most like you.
So, once you've identified a pathway that seems like it might be a good fit, the next stage of the journey kicks off, the application itself.
A process that seems totally overwhelming can really be broken down into these 4 universal steps. Now, the specific documents might change, but the flow is almost always the same. First, you confirm you're eligible. Then, you gather up all the proof they need, you submit the whole package, and then you await the decision. Thinking of it this way makes it feel so much more manageable, right?
And the good news is, you are not figuring this all out on your own. The official website for Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, you'll hear it called IRCC, has some really powerful tools to guide you. Let's take a look at the resources you'll probably use the most.
I want you to think of these 4 tools as your personal dashboard. Your IRCC account is Command Central. It's where you'll submit and manage everything. The Status Checker gives you updates, so you're not just sitting there wondering what's going on. Job Bank is the government's job board to help you find employers. But the one you're really going to want to watch closely is the tool for checking processing times.
The most important word on this entire slide is right there, current. These times aren't set in stone. They change all the time, based on how many applications they're getting and a bunch of other factors. Checking this tool regularly is absolutely key to managing your own expectations and planning your timeline.
But hey, getting your work permit isn't the finish line. In a lot of ways, it's actually the start of a whole new chapter of your journey in Canada.
As soon as you start your job, it's so important to understand 2 things: what you need to do to maintain your legal status, and what your rights are as a temporary worker.
This really shows the balance perfectly. You've got responsibilities, right? Like applying to extend your permit before it expires to avoid any problems. But you also have fundamental rights. And this is so critical. This includes the right to report an abusive employer without being afraid that it's going to mess up your immigration status.
Okay, now let's just flip the perspective for a minute. Because understanding what employers are thinking can actually give you a real advantage in your search. Just like you have a goal, employers do too. Some are just looking to fill a skills shortage for a specific project, maybe for a season. But others, they're looking for talented people they hope will stay and eventually become permanent residents. Understanding their goal can give you some really valuable insight into the kind of opportunities you'll find.
And this brings us right back to your protection. This isn't just about trust, it's about accountability. The government actually keeps a public list of employers who have broken the rules. This is a powerful tool you can use to make sure you're dealing with legitimate companies.
So, there we have it. we've pretty much covered the entire map, from that very first big question of temporary versus permanent, all the way through to your rights and responsibilities once you're actually here working.
If you remember only one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. The crucial thing is to stop thinking about one single, scary, generic application. Instead, your goal should be to research and confidently figure out your specific pathway, the one stream that best matches who you are.
We've given you the map to turn what feels like a daunting process into a series of clear, deliberate steps. The journey from here? Well, that's yours. The real question isn't just which path you'll explore, but what future you're hoping to build at the end of it. Thanks